Chairman. These will be for Dr. Jacobs. I'll start with you. Dr. Jacobs, in your experience, your opinion, does the federal government, NOAA, facilitate, hinder, or resist commercial weather opportunities and involvement?
I would say they facilitate it, particularly on the data acquisition side. So there's been we've had a very good experience in working with them in contracting for aircraft data. It's been a little tricky navigating the redistribution rights issue, but by and large, we're very happy with how things have gone. And I believe and they believe that it's improving their mission, improving their models, and improving their forecast.
Okay, well, I didn't mean to put you on the spot, but I wanted to put you on the spot. Dr. MacDonald, I'm going to come to you with the same question. And Dr. Jacobs, I want you to think about, you said it was a little tricky. I'm going to give you a 1 minute warning here to facilitate some of that stuff. You'll get your chance to abuse the witness. Dr. MacDonald, I'm going to come to you. Same question. Do you think NOAA facilitates, hinders, or resists commercial weather opportunities and involvement?
I think in our case, in Spire, we have good hopes that we're going to have a great relationship with NOAA. I appreciate Neil's comment because they've dealt with this issue already, and he said it was tricky, but they got through it. So I'm really hoping that in our case, with fabulous satellite data, we really have that opportunity to help the world.
And Dr. Jacobs, back to you. Your 1 minute is up. You said it was tricky in them doing that. How so?
So traditionally, per the WMO's Resolution 40, most data that's produced by NOAA is redistributed freely to the other government international med centers. That impacts our business model because if we want to sell it to the European Center, we can't sell it to the European Center if NOAA buys it from us and gives it to the European Center. There is a provision in the WMO Resolution 40 that allows for redistribution restrictions for commercially acquired data, provided it's defined as non-essential. So we've asked that be restricted for the purposes of sort of forcing the WMO members into a cost-sharing model. So if we actually prevent redistribution, then we get to charge NOAA less because we can actually sell it to the other government international Met centers, thereby sort of forcing a cost-sharing model on all of the government agencies worldwide.
But I'm assuming you make up that income difference by selling it to the other agencies.
We're currently in contract discussions with both the European Center and the UK Met Office for data acquisition. Every government Met Center has their own special needs. For example, some smaller countries don't even run a global model, so they're only interested in the regional data around their domain.
Okay. And this really, I guess, is a question for the three on the right here. We'll start back with you, Dr. Jacobs. Do you see any bias from NOAA in certain weather predictions? In other words, and I'm speaking specifically about climate change, global warming, sea level rise. Are you seeing any bias whatsoever?
Most of the forecasting that Panasonic is involved in is in the 0 to 2 week range. Every numerical model has its own unique bias characteristics, but that's more in the weather, not really so much in the climate.
Fair enough. Is it Busalacchi? Is that how you said that?
Perfect.
Okay.
With respect to the science of weather and climate, absolutely no bias at all.
That's good to hear.
Well, I say, though, is with respect to model development for weather, the agency faces almost like a catch-22. If they choose a model that's developed in-house, they will be criticized by the external community for a not invented here syndrome. If they choose a model from the community that's not invented within the agency, they're going to get criticized, well, why are you making this investment inside the agency when you can get it outside? So they're darned if they do, and they're darned if they don't.
All right, I'm going to move over to you, Dr. MacDonald.
I do not see bias. I see scientists who argue about all aspects of it, and with reports like IPCC and others, I think it's well represented. And no, I don't see a bias.
Okay, that's good to hear. Mr. Chairman, I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. Dr. Jacobs, just to follow up, if your goal is to sell data to the Europeans or your goal is to sell data to NOAA, why did you build your own model?
Well, part of the reason for that was we can't fully subsidize the cost of collecting the data. So to run the data off the aircraft through SATCOM is quite expensive. So we've offset that by generating products and services. The main reason why we actually run the models is to do quality control on the data. Because what we wanted to do is have the customers get the best value and impact of the data.
So it's to test the data.
It's to test, and when we do provide the data, we provide a set of quality control flags along with the data. Those are derived from the data assimilation component in our model.
Okay. I'd like to recognize the ranking member of the full committee, Ms. Johnson, for 5 minutes.